Dear Bess, remember Maya Wynn from high school? I'm visiting her in St. Louis. We have tickets to tonight's premiere of the new Brady Armstrong movie, Vanishing Destiny. It's the last screening ever at the Royal Palladium. This place has been a landmark for almost a century, and now in just 3 days, it's going to be demolished. I wish I could have seen the theater back in the 20s before it was turned into a movie house. All the great magicians performed here, even Harry Houdini. There's a lot of public opposition to the loss of this historic building. Rumor has it local activists are planning to stage a big protest out front tonight. The theater will be closed when we arrive, but they'll let us in since Maya is covering the story for the university newspaper. Oh boy, a press pass sure does come in handy. Maya told me she has an interesting lead, and we're on our way to interview Brady Armstrong about the controversy now. I know he's one of your favorite stars. Stay tuned. Maya always gets the full scoop. Talk to you soon. Love, Nancy.
Okay, Nancy, here I go. Cross your fingers, there's a story behind this door.
Go get 'em, Scoop.
Meet you in the lobby.
Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Is this thing on? Hello?
That sounds like Maya. Help! Nancy! Hello?
Listen carefully. If they knock the theater down, the girl goes with it.
What? Who is this? Hello? Hello? You'll never get away with this. Do you hear me?
Hello?
You're messing with the wrong girls, whoever you are. She's a reporter and I'm a detective, and we don't scare easy.
This is Joseph Hughes, the caretaker. I'm looking for Brady Armstrong. He said he'd be there. Who's this? And what's all the excitement?
My friend has disappeared from Brady's dressing room. I heard her scream. I think she's been kidnapped.
Now, please try to calm down and tell me what's going on. What's your name, dear?
I'm Nancy. My friend Maya's gone, and I just received a threatening phone call from the kidnapper.
Well, they must have taken her through that secret passageway. Holy smokes! And you're on an inside line. That call must have come from inside the building. We gotta act quick. You check out the secret passageway. I'll make sure all the exits are locked, and then I'll come find you.
Hey, you. No groupies in the dressing rooms. But since you're such a rascally fan, what would you say to a signed autograph from yours truly?
I'm not here for an autograph. My friend's been kidnapped.
Kidnapped? Maybe you better tell me what's going on here.
I heard Maya scream. When I got here, she was gone, vanished. And then I got a creepy phone call from the kidnapper.
But where could they have taken her? What did they say?
It's something to do with the demolition of the theater. The voice said, if they knock the theater down, the girl goes with it.
Those stinking radicals.
What radicals?
They're the ones who are flipping out over saving this theater. Nicholas Falcone and his tree hugger pals.
She may still be in the building. We've got to search this place from top to bottom.
Roger.
I may have to cut this short, Hal. Someone just climbed out of my wardrobe.
Can't you see I'm on the phone here?
My friend's been kidnapped.
Listen, sweetheart, I have a premiere tonight and no stylist for my star, so don't tell me about problems.
This is an emergency.
I said scram.
St. Louis Police Department.
I'm calling to report a kidnapping.
Is the kidnapping in progress?
No.
Hold on, miss. I'll transfer you to the Missing Persons Unit.
Missing persons, Sergeant Mac Ramsey speaking.
I'm calling to report a kidnapping. No longer in progress.
And who am I speaking with, please?
My name is Nancy Drew.
Okay, Miss Drew. Now, did you witness this kidnapping?
No, but I heard it.
What exactly did you hear?
My friend went into a dressing room. I was out in the hall, and I heard her scream, so I went in after her, but she was gone.
When and where did this happen?
Just now, at the Royal Palladium Theater.
And what's your friend's name, Miss Drew?
Maya Nguyen.
Can you spell that, please?
Maya, last name Nguyen.
Age?
19.
Physical description?
She's Asian American, I guess about 5'5", long black hair.
So you didn't actually witness anything, is that right?
I heard her screaming, and I received a threatening phone call. That must count for something.
A threat. Can you describe the voice? Was it a man or a woman?
It was spooky. I think they were using some voice disguise device.
Yes. That'll make it impossible to tell the gender of the caller. Did you notice anything suspicious looking in the vicinity?
No.
No suspects. Any visible signs of struggle in the dressing room? Did your friend leave anything behind? Her purse? Anything that might have fallen out of her pockets?
No.
No evidence. Does your friend work at the theater?
No, she's a student at Washington University.
Does your friend have any enemies?
Maya? I highly doubt it.
And what business did Maya have entering the theater dressing room?
She's a reporter for the school paper. She was there to do an interview.
What about Maya's parents? Have they been contacted?
They're in Vietnam this time of year. I don't know how to contact them.
Okay, miss. I'll file this report. After 24 hours, if she hasn't turned up, we consider her a missing person and begin to investigate.
How can she turn up? She's been kidnapped.
Unlikely. With all the scuttlebutt around this demolition, this stinks of student prank.
A prank? But this building is going to be demolished in 72 hours. How can we afford to take that chance?
How do you mean?
The kidnapper must be holding her in the building, don't you think?
Unlikely. No competent kidnapper keeps their captive anywhere near the scene of the abduction. Is there anything else, Miss Drew?
Sergeant, I really don't think we can afford to wait 24 hours.
It's standard procedure, Miss Drew. Unless you can provide us with some evidence that your friend was taken by force, it's 24 hours.
Thanks, Sergeant. I'll call you back when I have the evidence.
You do that.
Bye.
Who are you, and what's with the doom and gloom?
I'm Nancy Drew. I was just on the phone with the police.
What are you calling them for? A little taste of your tax dollars going bad?
Well, you're a breath of optimism. My friend's been kidnapped. I've got to start searching this place.
Phew. Kidnapping? That's a high-profile tactic. Somebody means business. So what's the demands?
The phone call was awful. They want the demolition stopped.
No kidding. That'll blast those bureaucrats and corporate bigwigs out of their dream world. Applause for the cause. We need all the help we can get.
Excuse me? We're talking about a girl's life here.
I'm sorry. I know you're upset, but they won't mess with your friend. They just took her for effect. It's called making a statement.
A statement? They said they'll let Maya go down with the building if it gets demolished. I haven't asked her myself, but something tells me that's a statement she'd rather not make.
She'll be okay. Trust me.
I'm not about to take that chance.
Find the ace of spades. Keep your eye on the card. Congratulations! You beat the magician. Don't forget to collect your winnings. Ha ha.
Your audience will be dazzled. So, humans against the destruction of illustrious theaters. Tell me about it.
This theater's a spotted owl. It's a humpback whale. It's endangered. Illustrious buildings testify to our finest human hours. They should be celebrated, not bulldozed to make way for cardboard megaplexes. Need I say more?
Do you know what they plan to build on this spot after the theater is gone?
Oh, it's very hush-hush. The name of the building firm is Wave of the Future, and the owner is some B. Thompson, descendant of J.J. Thompson, but he's never available for comment. Fishy, right?
What's your attachment to saving this theater? You seem so personally invested.
Politics is personal, but with this place, it's ultra-personal. My grandma, Louisa Falcone, designed the molds for all the insane plasterwork that you see in this lobby and in the auditorium. But there's more. I guess the architect-owner guy, J.J. Thompson, ran out of cash before the building was done. He never paid my grandma dime one, and then he denied that she had ever done the work in the first place.
Why didn't he give her the credit?
She was the artist type, not a deal maker. I guess she'd never signed any contractual stuff with J.J., and she didn't have the resources to sue him or any of that, so I guess she just had to let it go.
She should at least get credit for her work.
My family has been trying for years, but there doesn't seem to be anything on record that links her to this place. Nancy, could you do me a favor?
I think I know what you're going to ask.
While you're searching, could you just keep your eye out?
If I run across the name Louisa Falcone or anything else that might help, you'll be the first to know.
You must be Nancy. The worry's written all over your face. Well, I'm Joe. I started to look for you, but then I figured better to park myself and let you find me. Any trace of your friend?
I found the secret passageway all right, but no sign of Maya. I can't believe this is happening.
What about calling the police? There's an outside line in the ticket booth.
Thanks, but I already tried that. Standard procedure says I'm on my own for the next 24 hours.
Standard procedure, but this theater's going to be torn down in 3 days. Did you tell them that?
They say it's unlikely that the kidnapper would keep her in the building.
Well, I checked all the outside doors, and they're locked up tight. Only folks who've been in the theater all day are Brady and Simone, you and Maya, Nicholas Falcone, and myself.
Did you notice anything suspicious?
I was up here in the projector room, sound testing for the premiere.
Sound testing. Yeah, I think I remember hearing you practicing your MC voice now that you mention it.
I reckon if the kidnapper wants the demolition stopped, they must be keeping Maya somewhere in the building.
Did I mention what the kidnapper said?
Oh, I think so. Or maybe Brady told me when I saw him in the hall. He seems... What's your plan of attack?
Time to start searching. Can you give me a map or some blueprints of this place?
Try calling county administration. The records division keeps that type of stuff. I bet a blueprint would show secret passages that even I've never found. Ask for the original plans, not the ones from the 56 remodel.
When was the theater built?
Completed in 1925. The vision of one J.J. Thompson. Anyway, I've spent the last 40-something years finding my way around this place, so let me know if I can help.
Who is this J.J. Thompson character anyway?
Old J.J. Owner, visionary, wheeler dealer. J.J. loved a magic show. He had this place built with those kind of big spectacle shows in mind. J.J. also happened to love the sight of his own mug in the mirror. You can tell by the way he ornamented the auditorium with his own head.
History of this theater is so rich. I'm surprised the city of St. Louis isn't more interested in preserving it.
Well, they are interested. The Historical Society's been working like the dickens to get this place declared a landmark. But someone downtown has been stalling. They're awfully close.
How goes the search?
I found some of JJ's personal documents inside a secret panel in the basement.
Well, don't just stand there. Start breaking it down.
Did you ever hear about a challenge that JJ Thompson issued to Harry Houdini back in 1925?
Yeah, and?
JJ put up a big reward for this Houdini challenge. He must have thought the escape was impossible, but Houdini did it. And JJ didn't have the reward money.
What does this have to do with the ownership of the theater?
From what I can tell, JJ had to give Harry Houdini 50% of the theater as the reward.
Ha! Serves that swindler JJ right. Nancy, do you realize what this means? If Thompson didn't own the whole place, then whoever inherited it from Thompson doesn't legally own the whole place either.
Which means they don't have the authority to knock this building down.
We've got to find out what happened to his half of the ownership. You keep looking for Maya.
Nancy, it's Joseph. Wait till you see this. Come to the projection room.
Nancy, take a look at this.
Oh my gosh, Maya's press pass.
Brady found it.
This should be enough evidence to get the police over here, don't you think?
I should think so. Give the police a call.
St. Louis Police Department.
Missing persons unit, please.
Please hold. Missing persons, this is Ramsey.
Hi, Sergeant Ramsey. This is Nancy Drew. I spoke to you earlier today about the disappearance of my friend, Maya Wen.
Hello, Miss Drew. You're calling to tell me that you found your friend, I hope.
I wish that were true, sir. No, she's still missing. I'm calling to report that I have the evidence you asked for.
What did you find?
Someone else here at the theater found Maya's press pass. It was clipped to her shirt when she went into the dressing room. It must have been torn off when she was kidnapped.
Or it fell off. Or she just tossed it.
Maya is very serious about her work, Sergeant Ramsey. She never goes anywhere without that pass, and she would not willingly leave it behind.
Is the pass damaged in any way?
No.
Was anything disturbed in the area where it was found?
I don't know. I'm not the one who found it.
Okay, well, thanks for checking in, Miss Drew. If Maya hasn't turned up by tomorrow, we'll definitely be out to investigate. Someone will take a look at the press pass then.
But you said that if I found evidence, you'd investigate the theater today.
I'm sorry, Miss Drew, but we can't go chasing after every kid who decides to take a leave of absence. The vast majority of missing juveniles disappear of their own accord, and they reappear when they're good and ready.
You have to believe me. Maya would never play this kind of game. Nicholas Falcone said he thinks somebody is using her to make a statement.
Nicholas Falcone? Is he involved in this? Are you involved with him?
Haddad is demonstrating against the demolition in front of the theater. Nicholas has set up shop in the lobby. I've spoken to him. I'm not involved with him.
Are you aware of the allegations against Mr. Falcone's character, Miss Drew?
Allegations?
Nick Falcone operates according to his own rules. He'll do just about anything to save a theater, and he's not afraid to use extreme tactics.
What kind of extreme tactics?
You name it. Vandalism, sabotage, chaining himself to demolition machinery.
Is that right?
And last year there was a situation over in Nashville. Just when the oldest theater in the city is about to be torn down, and mind you, Haddad is there in full force, a girl goes missing. So happens she's the daughter of the demolition boss. They go crazy looking for her. There's a call, just like the one you described. Anyway, to make a long story short, the demolition is called off, and 3 weeks later the girl is seen snuggling up to Falcone in a Memphis coffee shop.
Are you suggesting Nicholas is staging this thing?
I'm just saying that there's more to situations like these than meets the eye. Nick Falcone is a real operator, and he likes to humiliate the police. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon here with this whole Royal Palladium thing and let him make my unit look like a bunch of chumps.
I see.
So you aren't going to have any credit with us if you join ranks with him.
Does he have a criminal record?
Oh, minor stuff. Disorderly conduct, trespassing. But Nick Falcone can slime his way out of a sticky situation like no one I've ever seen. Look, I know you're worried, but for now, there's nothing we can do. And there's nothing you can do either. Why don't you go home and get some rest? I'm sure you've had a long day.
Well, this has been very informative, Sergeant Ramsey. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good night, Miss Drew.
Hello?
Ned, it's me.
Nancy. Bess called and told me what happened with Maya. I've been worried sick.
Did she tell you what the police said?
About the 24-hour delay? Yeah, she told me. Who are your suspects?
It seems there were only 4 people in the building at the time of the kidnapping, besides Maya and myself. Brady Armstrong, Simone Mueller, his agent, Nicholas Falcone, a political activist, and the caretaker, Joseph Hughes.
Any hunches?
I've got to think of a way to get this demolition stopped.
Well, the police aren't being much help. But couldn't you try contacting the owner of the building? I'm sure he or she would be willing to postpone for a couple of days. I mean, what's the rush?
According to Nicholas, his name is B. Thompson, and he won't talk to the press.
I wonder what he has to hide.
His building firm is called Wave of the Future. Ned, I just remembered something. Joseph used the phrase Wave of the Future when I first met him. He was talking about the remodel of the theater in 1956. Do you think it's a coincidence?
I don't know, Nance. If Joseph turns out to be the owner of the theater and the guy behind the demolition, I think it'll be fair to say you've seen everything.
I heard the whole thing, Nancy. Go get some sleep. I'll keep an eye on things till morning.
Where did those missing posters come from?
I can't say for sure, but I can make an educated guess.
Are you thinking of a certain Hollywood agent we know?
Can you believe the way she diverted all of the attention away from Maya and used the poster to promote Brady as the big hero? This shouldn't be happening. It's all backwards.
Nancy Drew, Simone Mueller, don't worry, Vanishing Destiny is off. We've got bigger fish to fry.
So you heard about Maya?
Of course. I mean, a kidnapping? Right out of my star's dressing room? The premiere is small potatoes. It's worth more to us canceled or at least postponed. When the news gets out, the whole nation will be watching.
I don't think we should get the press into this before the police have had a chance to investigate.
Where are you from?
River Heights. Why?
Yes, precisely. River Heights. Listen, doll, I'm from L.A. This ain't my first time at the rodeo. We'll find your friend, or Brady Armstrong will, and when he does, every girl in America will wish she'd been kidnapped instead of Maya what's-her-name.
This theater is going to be demolished in 3 days. Brady can help search if he wants, but I'm not going to sit back and wait for him to save the day.
Honey, you've got spunk. Ever consider acting? This girl power thing is red hot right now. Of course, we'd have to think of a stage name. Nancy Drew is so utterly forgettable.
How long have you been Brady's agent?
I discovered him on an electric spring morning 6 years ago. He's been the jewel in my crown ever since.
Joseph says the building was probably locked when the kidnapping happened, and that the kidnapper had to be someone who was inside the theater. Care to comment?
Why don't you tell that little gray troll that I think he did it, just to keep himself from dying of boredom in this old dump. That's my comment.
I'm asking everyone, where were you when the kidnapping happened?
Oh, please, Nancy, I was on the phone, doing business. But if I'm ever hard-pressed for entertainment, I'm sure kidnapping would be a real hoot.
You didn't tell me kidnapping was part of Activism 101.
That's all hearsay, Nancy. They got no witnesses, no testimony, no nothing.
So you have or have not used kidnapping to further your causes in the past?
I am not an eco-terrorist, and I would never orchestrate the temporary disappearance of anyone who wasn't in on the plan and down with the cause.
Maybe you'd better think about being in on the law and down with the truth, Nicholas.
All right, Officer Nancy, chill out, will ya? I'm on your side.
I'm asking everyone, where were you when the kidnapping happened?
I was outside, harnessing public outrage. Ask anyone. I got the number. I left it in the ticket booth. This woman isn't a Houdini herself. She's the widow of one of Houdini's cousins.
But it couldn't hurt to give her a call. I'll get right on that.
Yes, hello.
Hello, is this Eustacia Andropov?
Who else would it be? Everyone else is dead.
Oh, Mrs. Andropov, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm trying to find out some information about Harry Houdini. Is it true that you're his cousin?
Who wants to know?
Oh, I beg your pardon. My name is Nancy Drew. I'm a detective working on a case in St. Louis.
Harry was only my cousin by marriage.
I'm researching Mr. Houdini's ownership of the Royal Palladium Theater. Would you know anything about this?
He owned it. Half of it anyway, for a few months.
Do you know what happened to his half? Did he sign it back over to J.J. Thompson?
Return it to James Jehoshaphat? Mr. Stupendous? Not on his life. Losing that man was Harry's greatest escape.
Did someone in Houdini's family inherit the theater?
Harry made a plan to give his half of the theater to someone he admired. A young magician, I assume. Perhaps a protege. I remember my husband telling me this.
Can you tell me anything more?
Call the Library of Congress. Ask about the Houdini collection. There must be something in all of those letters.
The Library of Congress. You don't happen to have that number, do you?
Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. 202-555-5000.
Manuscripts.
I'm trying to reach Sherman Trout, please.
Speaking. How may I help you?
Hi, Mr. Trout. My name is Nancy Drew. I'm a detective working on a case that involves Harry Houdini and the Royal Palladium Theater in St. Louis. Eustacia Andropov recommended I call you.
Ah, yes. Eustacia was most helpful to us when we were assembling our Houdini collection. I presume you'd like to have a look at it?
Yes, please, Mr. Trout. I'm very interested.
Fine. What's the street address there, if I find anything?
It's 1330 Washington Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63101. Please send the package in care of Nicholas Falcone or myself, Nancy Drew. I can't tell you how grateful I am, Mr. Trout. You might just be a lifesaver. She didn't know much, but she gave me the number of this guy at the Library of Congress who has access to the archives of Houdini's letters.
And what did they say?
We're expecting a package. Cross your fingers it gets here in time.
Way to go, Nancy! You're on fire!
Have you seen the posters? Aren't they fabulous?
That picture of Maya is the one from her press pass, isn't it?
Yes, thankfully she's photogenic.
That poster is just an advertisement for Brady.
Maya's on the poster. It says she's missing. So what's your issue? Brady's out plastering those posters all over St. Louis and every podunk town for 50 miles. He's due back at any time, though, for the press conference.
Press conference?
I've invited the press here today to report on Brady's commitment to solving this case. You know, a few questions, a few photo ops, no big deal.
It's locked. Thanks for finding Maya's press pass. Where was it?
I found it in the basement. The balcony. It was the balcony.
Great job on the posters, too. You market yourself like a real pro.
Please, Nancy. It's not me.
I guess I should have my eyes checked. I could have sworn that poster was all about you.
It's Simone. She's relentless. I'm just a hostage on her runaway bus.
That's funny. I don't see any gun to your head, just a wad of money dangling in front of your nose.
Get smart, Nancy Drew. You're wasting precious time. Stop the demolition or you'll never see her again.